Playoffs? You want to talk about playoffs? All right, let's go.
Come in, sit down, get rid of the gum, and let's learn something today.
So here's what we learned after 1 week of the CIF playoffs. Vista, Murrieta, and Norco will battle in round 2. Murrieta Valley is moving on. Next up, Centennial. We've got a winner at Heritage, the home of the Pats. Beaumont brings it versus Moreno Valley. Temescal Canyon goes on the road to Punk Palm Springs, and maybe the game of the night, Paloma Valley upsets top-seeded Summit. The Saturday Scouting Report is brought to you by Hemet Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, your hometown dealer. Check out the first anniversary sale. And Lake Chevrolet, we're driven to keep you satisfied. We're dressed to impress, hoodies up, cowboy up. Where are you going, David Solis? Don't leave. The Scouting Report starts now.
Red loves HS game time. Here's Pep.
We are charging hard for the second round of the football playoffs. I'm Pep Fernandez, and this is the HS Game Time Saturday Scouting Report. One of the premier matchups on Friday will be Murrieta Valley hosting Centennial in the Inland Division playoffs. The Huskies, they rolled past Los Osos, while Murrieta Valley was hosting the Citrus Belt League co-champion Eisenhower in the opening round. Nighthawks quarterback Andrew Blake to Aaron Paisley ties the game at 7, and then it's Ike's Jerrion Burton sweeps around the left end 5 yards for a touchdown, and the visiting Eagles go up 14-7. Later, Eisenhower with the ball again. Tawan Green bowls his way into the end zone and evens the game at 21 heading into halftime. Third quarter, the Nighthawks regain the lead when Jacob Augustine powers to the paint. He makes it 28-21. Murrieta Valley back in the lead. The Nighthawks defense also came to play. Michael Payne bringing it, stuffs the Eagles run, and now we move to the fourth quarter. Ike lets it fly with the aerial attack. Marquand Harris to a wide open Burton. That makes it a 1-point game. Ike down 28-27. The Nighthawks in need of a big play. How about 5'6" Damon Nolan living large? He takes the ensuing kickoff 95 yards for the touchdown. Murrieta Valley leading 35-27. Ike would get the ball back, still just one touchdown away, but the Nighthawks defense shuts them down on fourth down. Murrieta Valley wins 35-27. Next up, Centennial.
Anytime you can play a team of Centennial's caliber, you know, that's a great situation for your kids. You know, it's a great opportunity because they've been, you know, along with Vista, you know, top of the division. So you want to play those guys. Your program's never going to get any better if you don't play those programs.
Norco on the road against Redlands East Valley. The Wildcats, Kylie Fitz, who's headed to USC, did not play because of a wrist injury. We are Norco, and here come the Cougars, except Kyle Starr, who gets trampled. He was fine, though. First drive of the game, the high-powered Norco offense goes to work. Give it to Joseph Ajibi. Rips off a big run deep into Redlands East Valley territory. That sets up Colton Gerhardt on the quarterback keeper. Get in there! Norco adds the 2-point conversion to make it 8-zip. The Wildcats would respond. Rev's offense making some big plays in the first half. Quarterback Levi Plant to Malik Lovett. You gotta love it. That sets up this. Hakeem McKenzie III goes in for the touchdown. The Wildcats even the game at 8. Back come the Cougars. Ajibi goes in for another score, giving the Norco the lead once again, 14-8. Now it's Norco with the ball on their next offensive drive, and the Cats' Trey Oliphant comes up with the interception there. Rev would make them pay. They cash in with this Taylor Thompson touchdown. Straight cash, homie. Rev takes the lead, 15-14. Kirk Bruick says, I need some defense. Easier said than done against Norco. Gerhardt goes in for another touchdown. Norco on top, 22-15. Later in the second quarter, check out another big run from Ajibi. On the end of this play, the Wildcats' Blake Braun puts it to him, and Ajibi, a little shaken up, but he would stay in the game. Just before halftime, Rev gets on the board one more time. Plant to McKenzie III. Rev ties the game at 22, but Norco roars back in the second half. Gerhardt to Brandon White in the third quarter. The Cougars pull away big time, 50-22 the final. Next up for Norco is Vista Murrieta. Sua Cravens not dressed to start this one, but sources tell me he did play in the second half against West Covina South Hills. The Broncos feeding the ball to Garrett Caraway. He's got some pep in his step. Caraway mixes in some shake and bake and into the paint for the early Vista Murrieta lead. Nick Stevens in at quarterback takes off on the run, picks up 20 yards on this carry, and then later on that same drive, Stevens calls his own number. Get in there. Broncos on top 13-0. And like the sun coming up each morning, you just know the Broncos defense will show up. Bryce Smith, the Bryce is right. Smith, the sack for Vista Murrieta. Now it's Trayshawn Broughton. It's just been brought. Another sack on South Hills. Vista Murrieta would surrender a touchdown in the first half, but that would be South Hills' only score of the game. Meanwhile, the Broncos find the paint again before the break. Stevens to Colin Baker. Broncos win 34-6, so it's Vista Murrieta versus Norco in round 2. Here's a quick look at our HS Game Time poll question this week. It's where the fans vote. The best 1-2 punch in the inland area is, hands down, Vista Murrieta's Nick Stevens and Sua Cravens. 35% of the vote. Several people tweeted us and posted on Facebook about Paloma Valley's Brent Bohm and David Solis, also good picks. Now it's back to the highlights. Chaparral on the road at Charter Oak. My main man, Rex Robertson, doing a great job as always delivering the highlights. Charter Oak did a lot of this, letting running back Aaron Vaughns makes plays, the touchdown run for the Chargers. Then it's Vaughns again. Charter Oak grabbing a 2-touchdown lead on Chaparral. The Pumas would answer. Justin Harris from 10 yards out, he's in for the score, and Chaparral cuts into the Charter Oak lead. Charter Oak continued to feed Vaughns the rock. Another touchdown for the Chargers, making it 21-7. But Chaparral would not let Charter Oak get away so easily. Kellen Matafa to Harris. He'll slice his way through traffic and take this one all the way to the paint. Chaparral kept it close, but Charter Oak hangs on to beat the Pumas 24-14. Now we move on to the Central Division, where Paloma Valley, an at-large playoff team, opened on the road at top-seeded Summit. The Skyhawks won the CIF title last year in the Eastern Division. The Wildcats, not afraid to go on the road and really battle mighty Summit. The Skyhawks get on the board first, 3-zip on the James Fonseca three-pointer. Now in the second quarter, time to crank up that Paloma Valley offense. It's Bebo, Brent Bohm, the deep ball to Marcus Page, all the way down to the 1-yard line. And that sets up this David Solis right there. 8-3 Wildcats. To the third quarter, the Cats keep giving the ball to Solis, and why not? Another big run takes it to the Summit 10-yard line. And then Solis punches it in. Paloma Valley up 15-3. Solis, come back. We miss you. You've got another game next week. Now in the fourth quarter, Solis from 4 yards out. It's all good. Paloma Valley knocks off top-seeded Summit 22-3. Solis 174 yards on the ground. Next up, Colony. On the other end of the Central Division bracket, Heritage hosting Palm Desert. The visiting Aztecs jump in front early. Braden Bateman sprints for the paint and puts Palm Desert on the board first. Now it's the Patriots on offense. Fumble on the play, and there's the Aztecs. Things were looking bad for Heritage, and I'm not even talking about that flannel shirt. I mean, Palm Desert goes up 13-0 when Joseph Castelli hits Garen Misarch on the touchdown strike. Heritage would answer, and you knew they would. Sophomore Isaiah Morrow getting some carries as his big brother Jamal nurses an injury. Nice run there. Same drive, but now in the second quarter, Sione Taki. Take that from Taki. Patriots are on the scoreboard. Then it's Taki with another carry. The big man has some moves. Look at him go. Later on that same drive, it's Morrow again. The Patriots finding a rhythm on offense, and they do it on the ground. Quarterback Matt Bradshaw says, we can go to the air too. It's my boy, E-Rod. Evan Rodriguez with a touchdown, and Heritage takes the lead 14-13. Later in the second quarter, Bradshaw is back for more. This time he finds Marvin Hefo for the touchdown connection. Despite the slow start, Heritage bounces back in a big way to win 42-28. The Patriots will take on Arlington in the quarterfinals. Here's the top 10 in the HS Game Time rankings. Heritage's stock is climbing while Summit will likely drop out of the top 10. And you have to bet Norco is on the move up, but the top 3 are not budging at this point. Now we're headed out to Palm Springs, Temescal Canyon on the road to take on the Indians. Palm Springs would get on the board first with this field goal, but it was all downhill from there for the Indians. Temescal Canyon came to play, Titans with the ball, and Jacob Zinda gets the call. Can you hear me now? Good! Zinda goes in for the touchdown, and Temescal Canyon takes the lead. Later, it's quarterback Sean Trimble puts it up for Stephen Bussey. Titan touchdown there. Temescal Canyon's defense also stepping up for some big plays. They force the fumble, and it looks like Temescal Canyon recovers, and they're in business. Jacob Hetland goes in for the touchdown here on the carry. Temescal Canyon in control. How about one more big defensive play? Palm Springs looking for the end zone, but there's Marcus Kirkpatrick for the interception. Game over. Temescal Canyon wins 21-3. The Titans will take on Kaiser in the second round. Now to the Eastern Division. Top-seeded Citrus Hill blasted Silverado 51-zip, so the Hawks move on to Friday's second round. Citrus Hill would get the winner of Rialto versus Norte Vista. This was a back-and-forth battle between the Knights and the Braves. Rialto used a strong start and a strong finish as bookends to a 37-28 win versus the Braves. It's the first ever playoff victory for Rialto. The Knights will now be at home for Citrus Hill on Friday in the quarterfinals.
All right, Cabrera, come in, sit down, get rid of the gum, and let's learn something today.
Coach Pike, former Fontana teacher for HS Game Time's Javier Cabrera, a.k.a. Ja Rule. Beaumont taking on Moreno Valley in Eastern Division action. The Cougars led 14-zip at the half. Third quarter, Joe Jeffers rips off the long run all the way to the goal line. That sets up Jacob Ulibarri for the touchdown, 21-zip. Beaumont, I've heard it both ways. Later, it's Ulibarri to Josh Martin, the former quarterback, now making plays all over the field, takes it to the Moval 15-yard line. And that sets up this. We'll just call him Jacob. To Sam Roberts on the touchdown strike. Beaumont wins 35-7. They'll play Serrano in the next round on Friday. In the East Valley Division, Redlands Citrus Valley will collide with league rival Jurupa Hills in one quarterfinal matchup. Another good one will be Banning versus Linfield Christian. The Mountain Valley League champ, Banning, opening the postseason at home against Shadow Hills from Indio. There's my boys, Devon, Jesse, and Nathan, the biggest HS Game Time fans out there. You guys are the best. We pick up the highlights with Shadow Hills in the red zone, fourth down, and Banning making the stop to keep them out of the end zone. Now it's the Broncos with the ball. Hairston to Babra Edwards for the nice gain. Sty Hairston can throw, and that gets the chain gang moving. The Sty Hairston experience, better known though for his ground game. The Sty Hairston experience takes matters into his own hands here. I don't always score touchdowns, but when I do, they go for 80 yards. Hairston to the paint, 7-zip B-City. Hairston follows that up with another touchdown run. Banning, they're moving on. They win 21-3 versus Shadow Hills. The playoffs are off to a great start thanks to these guys.
Player of the Week.
We're giving the game ball to Paloma Valley's David Solis. The workhorse on the Wildcats ground attack went for 174 yards and 3 touchdowns, powering Paloma Valley to a stunning road win at top-seeded Summit. Did I mention I picked Paloma Valley to win that game? I'm just saying. You're making me look good, David Solis. Our HS Game Time Scouting Report Player of the Week.
Play of the Week.
The Nighthawks, Damon Nolan, the big man on campus at Murrieta Valley this week, returning this kickoff 95 yards for the touchdown. I'll need to see a receipt for that return, Damon. The gift that keeps on giving. It's Damon Nolan delivering the play of the week. If you like that, you will love round 2. We'll be back next Saturday with highlights from the second round of the CIF playoffs. I'm Pep Fernandez, and this is the HS Game Time Saturday Scouting Report. We'll see you next time.